Hey guys, it's Stephen here, back with another match preview. Manchester City play Fulham tomorrow in a big game for us, actually, a pretty big game. And today I'm going to preview this game and go through loads of talking points, look at the team news, look at the prediction, all that kind of stuff, and try and guess the lineup. And also, I've got Dom from the channel Fulhamish podcast as well, who's offered some thoughts on this game as well. I also did a preview on his channel, which I'll put a link to at the end. He's going to offer some views from the opposition side, basically. So, before we get into this game, I want to say make sure to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give this video a like as well if you don't mind. It'd be massively appreciated. But hopefully you enjoy the reasonable, rational Manchester City talk. And also thank you to everyone who joined me for the EDS watch along, by the way. They beat Brighton 2-0. Should have been about 6 if we're being honest. Delap and Palmer scoring the goals with McAdee running riot as well. But it was good fun, that. But anyway, let's get into this preview. Yeah, I think this is a relatively big game for Manchester City. Now, if we win this tomorrow, City could end up going from all the way from down in 11th up to the top 4, still with a game in hand. So even though it's been a pretty slow start to the season, it could just be all right, just like that. Honestly, we could end up being right near the top of the table. And of course, we should be fit to do this as well, given the fact that obviously we had that very niggly game midweek against Porto, but we got through that by resting loads of players as well. And obviously as well, we scored loads of goals against Burnley the other day. So largely we should go into this game feeling pretty confident. And I do think this is a big game for City, and I do think it's a big game for Guardiola to essentially kind of dust off some cobwebs and hopefully find a confirm footing in some decent form potentially. So Guardiola was pretty vocal as well in the press conference. Someone raised the point it's going to be his 700th game as a manager in charge, and obviously he was very thankful to everyone who's been involved during that time. I said he wants 700 more before he retires. Maybe those will all come at Manchester City. That would be nice, wouldn't it, that he builds a legacy here. Can't see it myself personally, but I would love it to happen. At least the next couple of hundred anyway. He also talked about Phil Foden. He said, we are more than delighted to have him for the academy, the message he can give. If you have the skills and especially passion, I love his passion. The only thing in his mind is to be better for himself, his club and his country. He's a dream come true for managers. This is about Phil Foden still. Normally when you become older, he loses it, but the first thing he's looking for in training is the ball to play with his mates. And that's true about Foden. Foden absolutely just loves football, which is it's kind of like it's adorable in a way that Foden just wants to play football, wants to score goals, and hopefully he'll be involved tomorrow as well. Guardiola was also asked about Sterling's form. He said he doesn't need to do anything he hasn't done. His contribution at Manchester City has been incredible. I speak to the players every day. Him, Nathan Ake, Laporte, De Bruyne, Torres, Gundogan, they all want to play, all of them. Which is right. I mean, I think he probably wants more from Sterling, but he's right also to defend Sterling in these press conferences. In terms of the team news, we're pretty much as you were, really. Everyone seems to be fit. Nathan Ake's back, Fernandinho is good. Everyone's available, and obviously some players have been rested midweek, so we've seen Kevin De Bruyne get a rest. We've seen, obviously, who got a rest? Well, John Stones got a rest the other day. Mendy got a rest. Then we had Gundogan kind of getting a semi-rest. Mahrez didn't play. Sterling, obviously, is it a rest or has he been rotated? No, Sterling did play the other day, actually, sorry. And then Gabriel Jesus got a bit of a rest as well. But unfortunately, Sergio Aguero, it's still hanging around this Aguero worry. He said, Guardiola said Aguero is getting better, but he won't be available tomorrow, unfortunately. Now, one Argentinian journalist said that Aguero continues to train with City, but Guardiola only wants him to be involved when he's 100%. And it does take Aguero a little bit of time to find that physicality and get that trust in his body again. I'm worried about this, as I've said a billion times. You can choose not to be, don't forget. You might think I'm talking nonsense, but I am worried about his fitness long term. Hopefully, I'm just overthinking it, but I do worry if he's going to be the same again. Fingers crossed he will be. In terms of the lineup, I think a lot of it kind of picks itself, given everything, but there are a few positions up for grabs, I reckon. In terms of the defence, I think we know what it's going to be. Ederson obviously will be the guy in charge, of keeping the clean sheet. Ederson will be our number one, of course. He'll be between the sticks, and hopefully it'll be another clean sheet. Hopefully, we'll see. I think Mendy will come back in at left back. I think he's added a bit of natural width. He's played pretty well when he came back. Obviously scored against Burnley as well. So I think Mendy will play in this game. I think he'll start at left back. And I think Diaz and Stones. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if Laporte does come back in. So, I think possibly Laporte and Stones. Maybe Diaz will sit this one out. No, I don't think he will. I think Diaz will play because Diaz has been so good recently. I'm going to say, I can't decide. I've got a feeling Laporte might play. No, I'm going to say Stones and Diaz. but maybe Laporte. And then Kyle Walker will obviously be the right back in this game because obviously the players have got a big rest midweek potentially against Marseille. Into midfield, I think Gundogan will be straight back into the team. Or will he? Yeah, Gundogan will be back in the team, I reckon, alongside maybe Ferner. Could be Fernandinho, it could be Rodri. Or could even be Bernardo, but I've got a feeling Bernardo will be on the bench for this one. So I'm going to be bold and say Fernandinho. I think Rodri might sit it out because Rodri's played an awful lot of football. So I'm going to say Gundogan and Fernandinho. I could be well wrong there. Could be just be Gundogan and Rodri again. I'm going to say Gundogan and Fernandinho with Rodri having a rare rest on the bench with Kevin De Bruyne as the attacking midfielder. I think that one's pretty obvious. Mahrez will come back into the team, and rightfully so, after his hat-trick against Burnley. He was very good that day. You want to see more of that from Mahrez. So Mahrez will come back into the team. Gabriel Jesus through the middle, and I think he might be Phil Foden. I think Foden will get a start on the left. I think he's earned it. I think Guardiola's been really positive about his performances recently, and I think he actually will finally get a Premier League start in this game. So I think Phil Foden will start. Hopefully as well, Phil Foden will put in the game, the performance that we know he can. So in terms of the opposition view, well, first of all, I'm going to hand you over to Dom Betts from the Fulhamish podcast. And also, I did a video on his channel where I previewed this game for quite a while. A big long chat about the game, so I'll put a link on the screen right now. But go and subscribe to his channel as well, by the way. He's a good lad, and here's his take on the game.
Hello everyone on the Esteemed Kompany YouTube channel. My name is Dom Betts and I'm from the Fulhamish podcast and YouTube channel. Steve's asked me to come on, say a few words ahead of Saturday's game, and Fulham were going to be in high spirits going into this game. We had a great win over Leicester on the Monday Night Football. And, the confidence is high. We only conceded in the 85th minute. We nearly kept a clean sheet. We looked very, very good in our counter-attack. And I think that's going to be a tactical blueprint we're going to look for this game. Try hit Man City on a counter-attack. It's going to be very different, obviously, to Leicester with the increased quality of this Manchester City side. But obviously, they're not scoring as many goals, as Stephen mentioned on the preview on our channel, that Man City have been scoring this season. So I'm fairly confident that we'll make a game of it. I'm not going to say we're going to go there and get a point or go there and get a win like we've seen Wolves and Palace do over recent seasons, but I do think we're going to be in the game. It's not as we like 2 seasons ago or like last season in the Cup where you completely ran riot, because in this season really we're not getting torn apart. Now we've signed some competent defenders. We really are in games like the Everton game, the Palace game, obviously beating Leicester on Monday night, and one player that a lot of City fans will want to be knowing about is obviously, or will know a lot about anyway, is Tosin Adarabioyo, who's been an absolute rock at the heart of our defence since he's come in. He's really formed a great partnership with Joachim Anderson, and it'll be honestly to see how he sort of adapts and plays against his old team in City, because I think, he loved it there, but he wanted to come and play first team Premier League football, and he's got that Fulham. He looks like a Premier League defender, and it looks like an absolute steal for £2 million. So other players you guys want to look out for is Andre, Frank, Zambo and Gisa in the middle of the park. He's beating mans. He's sort of driving through the midfield and beating players. I think he's the reason why our dribbles per game is one of the highest in Europe at the moment, because he just, for a central midfielder who's playing in sort of a number 8 role, he just breezes past players, as you saw on our first goal against Leicester when he played through Ademola Lookman. And another player to look out for is Ademola Lookman. He's been our most direct attacker. He's probably been our best attacker this season. And, hitting you guys on a counter-attack, Ademola Lookman will be a very key part of that. I'm confident going this game, as I said, that we'll be in the game. I think it's going to be very tough, but I do think we have it in us to get a point in the game if I'm going with my heart. I genuinely think we could maybe scrape a 1-1 or a 2-2 draw. Just the tactical blueprint we set on Monday night against Leicester. But if you want some more Fulham content or want to watch a longer preview of me and Stephen talking, we uploaded one on the Fulhamish YouTube channel, which I'm sure we'll be linking down below, which you can watch on our channel. But I've been Dom Betts from the Fulhamish podcast. I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday.
I mean, fair play to him. Why wouldn't he be bullish, a little bit bullish, after their very impressive victory against Leicester, a team that's been riding high in the league, a team that battered us, of course, but they got a very important 2-1 victory against Leicester. And I think some of their players are starting to find form. He's right, of course, as well. Adarabioyo, I wouldn't be surprised if he has an absolute blinder, but him and Anderson have been very good together from the very little I've seen of them, if I'm being honest. And they do have some players on the break that can cause some trouble potentially. Loftus-Cheek, we know about his quality, obviously on loan there away from Chelsea, but it's to be a good signing for them. They've got Ngisia, I can't pronounce that very well, but he seems to be a very dynamic midfielder with loads of dribbling ability. And based on like the Spurs game, and Bailey had a little bit of joy against us in that way, I wouldn't be surprised if they look to use that pace through the middle and maybe a little bit of power and maybe try and free someone like Ademola Lookman. Lookman obviously has loads of pace, loads of skill, and he could be the kind of player that could cause us a little bit of trouble. Fulham are down in 17th at the moment. This isn't a game they'll be looking at and they won't be essentially expecting points from this, but it'll be genuinely a bonus for them if they do get some points out of this. Guardiola also was very positive about them. He said Fulham are an encouraging team. I enjoy watching them for the way they play, and they made an incredible result winning at Leicester away. It's not easy. We know the opponent we're going to face tomorrow, so Pep has obviously done his homework, and he'll be cautious, and rightfully so. But this game should surely be a game that Manchester City are looking to win, which leads me nicely onto my prediction. I'm feeling confident at the moment. I'm not sure if that's misplaced, but I am feeling a little bit confident. Hopefully think that maybe we turn the corner in terms of creativity. It could be close, but I'm going to say 2-0 Manchester City. I think Fulham will defend really well, but I think we'll have just about too much personally. I'm expecting hopefully a goal from Gabriel Jesus, maybe a Kevin De Bruyne, a pen or something like that as well. But I reckon maybe 2-0. I usually put us down to concede, but at the moment we just defend pretty well, touch wood. And we have kept 6 clean sheets out of the last 8, so hopefully it'll be the same. Guys, I want to say thank you to all these patrons scrolling down. I've also got a shout out to coming for one of the guys in particular on that. I get a shout out soon, I promise, mate. Thank you to all these guys here. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. I will be back tomorrow for a watch along as ever, so make sure you're tuning in. Thank you to everyone once again who joined me for the EDS chat earlier on. It was really good fun. Let me know your predictions, your comments and all the kind of usual stuff, and go watch that video I did on Dom's channel as well on Fulhamish. It's good, I promise you. For now though, have a wonderful day and I'll see you in a bit.